Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Tuesday morning. What we're going to do today is talk about the Frankie situation. What's the Frankie situation? Well, if you've been following it, you'll know exactly who the Frankies are. Ruby Franke started a YouTube channel back in 2015 called 8 Passengers. It went from strength to strength, and in its heyday it had over 2 million subscribers. 8 Passengers. There's Ruby, the mother, Kevin, the father, and then 6 children. On the 30th of August, it's been confirmed that what a lot of people have been talking about for a long time is that the parenting practices and the things that have been going on in the Frankie home during the 8 Passengers time and beyond it, because she shut that down in 2022, is that the children are being abused. The 30th of August, it all came out that Ruby and her business partner, Jodie Hildebrandt, who I believe is the ringmaster in all of this stuff that's gone down. I mean, not necessarily the strict parenting, because that's been going on for years. It's been documented on the now defunct 8 Passengers channel. However, since Jodie Hildebrandt got involved in the family, Jodie Hildebrandt has done what Jodie Hildebrandt does best, in my humble opinion, and that is split up families. She seems to be a man-hater. She seems to split families up, you know, call the dad a no-good son of a bee, and they split up. So Ruby and Kevin have not lived together for over a year. And Kevin has been very much an absent father. So that's probably part of the problem, that he's just been, at best, willfully ignorant. I mean, he was a participant in the very strict parenting style, the very strict Mormons. The children have been much maligned by this very strict parenting style. However, as I said, Jodie Hildebrandt, this connections woman, has broken this family, in my opinion. So 30th of August, the little boy, who was 12, so the youngest son, escaped from Jodie Hildebrandt's home, ran to a neighbour's, 911 was called, and this all unfolded from there. So I've got videos going back into Jodie Hildebrandt, connections, and the situation as a whole. So go and check those back. You may not have seen them because, for whatever reason, YouTube seems to demonetize those videos. I don't know why. They're no worse than any of my others in terms of, content and stuff like that. But that's the situation. It's been a while since I've updated on this situation because there's been so much going on in the true crime world that this case has pretty much taken very much a back burner. But this is Sheri Franke, who is the eldest daughter of the Frankie clan. The day her mother was arrested, she wrote on her social media, finally, because a 911 call came out, Sheri Franke had called a while ago, because Sheri is an adult now, as is Chad, her brother, and Sheri has been quite outspoken as to, the treatment of her minor siblings, 4 minor siblings. So there's the 2 youngest, the 12-year-old and the 10-year-old, who were found at Jodie Hildebrandt's home on August the 30th, malnourished, dehydrated, just in a horrible state of emaciation. I mean, these are rich people. These are rich people, and they're doing this to the kids. It's not that they're living in a squalor, in a slum, where there's literally no food. No. This is willful. This is willful abuse. Also, the little boy had duct tape round his wrists. They'd been tied down. I mean, it's just awful. In Jodie Hildebrandt's home, there was like this safe room, and it seems that these kids have just been put in there. I don't know. But the problem was there's 2 other children, 2 teenage girls, and where were they? All right, so we're going to get into all of that. This has been a very long intro, but let's get into it. All right, the last time I spoke about the Frankie situation, I discussed Kevin Frankie, which is this guy here, the dad of the family. And I said, at best, he's been willfully ignorant about the situation because he's been away from home. However, a lot of speculation and scrutiny was on Kevin because of the way he was treating his eldest daughter, Sheri Frankie. In that, he wanted to have her done for burglary or robbery because on the day the two youngest kids were taken into CPS care because their mother had been arrested and they didn't know at the time where the dad was, who the dad was, what on earth was going on, was he part of it? So they've been in CPS care ever since. But Sheri Frankie went in to get some clothes and some belongings and things for the family. There's these two youngest who were going into CPS care, and then there's these two middle kids, these two teenage girls. Well, where were they at the moment? They didn't know. So Sheri Frankie went into the Frankie family home where she hasn't lived for quite some time. She's been estranged from the family. And she also took some laptops and some cameras and some journals and things like that. Kevin went to the police saying he wanted Sheri to be arrested for robbery. And Sheri straight away took the belongings back to the police station and said, you know, it was just safekeeping because, you know, we've got this situation now. But anyway, she gave them back, and this body cam footage, only a minute long, this was released by KUTV. This is Kevin Frankie, so I'm going to play this right now. So it says, this video released under authority of the Utah Government Records Access and Management Act Ordinance. This record is classified published by the Springfield Police Department. Released by Megan Mendel, Springfield Police Department, released to KUTV, Brian Snee. Brian Snee has been reporting on this situation a lot, so here we go. This is just a minute long. This is courtesy of KUTV and Springfield Police Department.
There you go.
So this is all the stuff that Sheri Frankie took from the house. You can see laptops, there's some books by the looks of things there, like journals or something. And there were some other devices.
Is it all there?
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery.
Because it's a civil issue. You guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So theft, that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything.
Okay. I'll have to do some more research on that.
You can do that. If you want to follow up with her, detective, do yourself.
Yeah, all right. Well, explain to me again why this is not robbery of his own daughter. So very estranged, yeah? Well, Kevin Frankie's lawyer spoke out and said that they were going to reconcile. And it seems to be that possibly has happened. So this was an Instagram post a week ago by Sheri Frankie. She has not been on her social media. She's not been on her YouTube channel for months. She's not been on Instagram since her kind of family situation went to shit. You know, she wrote the finally thing and then she's not been around. So this is the first time she's spoken out. This was the day before the latest family court hearing. So Kevin Frankie wants custody of the 4 minor children, all who are in CPS custody at the moment. This is Sheri's feelings on the situation. There's literally not even words to describe how upside down my life has become. I've cried, had an infinite number of panic attacks, had way too much ice cream. Ice cream solves everything. And yet life goes on. Therapy has literally saved me. I hope it's not therapy through an organisation like Jodie Hildebrandt's Connections, because, yeah. Jodie Hildebrandt has a master's in educational psychology. Nothing she has done is psychology. It's evil. Therapy has literally saved me, but God has too. My life is somehow becoming more beautiful and fulfilling despite all the terrible things going on. I've tried to live my life to the fullest the last few weeks, even though all I want to do is hide away in my apartment. I do have my days. Tomorrow is another big court day, and I appreciate your prayers and thoughts for my family and myself. Words can't express the gratitude I feel for you, and I feel your love. That's Sheri Frankie speaking a week ago on Instagram. Now, the court date happened. We don't know what went on because family court rightly is private, but the family, so including Sheri, Kevin, were seen walking, kind of exchanging smiles and pleasantries at the court day. So are they reconciling? Well, if Kevin truly is innocent, and all he's done is been willfully ignorant because Ruby told him to stay away, and Ruby allegedly had told Kevin that if he wanted to save their marriage, he had to stay away. Because this is what Jodie Hildebrandt does. She breaks up families. That's what her expertise is based in, breaking up families. If Kevin truly is innocent, then hopefully he can patch things up with his kids. I don't know about him taking custody of the 4 youngest, because the parenting practices that he took part in my opinion, are far too strict. However, being a strict parent doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have your kids, does it? I mean, it's down to the authorities to decide where the line should be drawn here. So I think it's going to be a long road for Kevin. Whether there's more behind the scenes and whether charges are going to come and whether Kevin has a part in this. My gut feeling is he hasn't, because I think Jodie Hildebrandt has been pulling all the strings. There's even more evidence of these women connected to connections of the way that they all behave. They're like a little coven of witches, in my humble opinion. There's more body cam been released, and I think this is more interesting than the Kevin Frankie body cams. So let's have a look at this. This is Pam Bodtcher, who on the Connections website is a president or a partner. When she was questioned by the police, she doesn't seem to know very much about it. She's like, oh, it's a self-help thing. All right, this is KUTV, again, releasing body cam. So I'm going to play part of this article that KUTV put together. I want to play you an extra bit of body cam after this as well. So let's play this here.
August 30th, American Fork police responding to the home of Pam Bodtcher to try and locate 2 of Ruby Frankie's children the day Ruby and Jodie Hildebrandt were taken into custody in southern Utah.
So this is the 2 middle kids. So the 2 youngest, the boy who broke the story by running to a neighbour and calling 911. So they were found in Jodie Hildebrandt's home. The police have now arrived at Pam Bodtcher's home.
Put your hands in front of you, okay? He's going to place you temporarily under arrest.
In 2 body camera videos obtained by 2 News, officers placed Bodtcher in handcuffs and took her to the back of a patrol car and waited for Springville police to arrive.
A couple women were found and malnourished and bound.
In the meantime, officers tried to get a better understanding of the situation, which spans from Utah County to Washington County.
Is Ruby Frankie's daughter. She's a friend of ours.
So at first, the police were confused. They thought they were coming to deal with Pam Bodtcher's daughter, who has little kids. So there was some confusion at first, but they ironed it out and they realised this is Ruby Frankie's daughter. These 2 children in Pam Bodtcher's care are Ruby Frankie's. And again, these are the 2 middle kids, the 2 teenagers.
Comes over and helps me every once in a while to do cleaning and stuff.
Because she knows her mom.
So did you hear that? They come over every once in a while to help with cleaning and stuff. Okay, we know what cleaning looks like to the Frankies, right? They seem to use their kids as skivvies. There was one neighbour who reports seeing them, I think this was at Jody Hildebrandt's, outside doing yard work, doing gardening stuff in like 100-degree heat, in the Utah desert. Getting your kids to do chores is one thing. Using your kids as unpaid lackeys is quite another. Getting a kid to, I don't know, empty the dishwasher or, tidy their room, great. Scrubbing floors, doing yard work in 100-degree heat, no, that's too much. That's why I've got an issue with Kevin Frankie taking these 4 minor children into his care, because if that's his way to discipline his kids, or if that's what he considers normal, then I've got a problem with that. Right? There's a fine line. The Frankies appear to be way, way over that line. Way over that line. So these kids go around to Pam Bodtcher's when she needs the floors cleaned, it seems.
Pam was handcuffed for roughly 50 minutes. That's when Springville police officers started speaking with her about the Frankie children.
So my friend called me and she said, hey, I have a family emergency. I'm going to St. George.
A DCFS worker arrives as officers try to clarify a time frame from when Ruby Frankie called Pam and apparently told her where she could find the 2 children spread across Utah County.
Ruby contacted you around noon and said that they had
I don't know if that's important.
Minutes later, the DCFS worker asks how Pam knows the family, to which she confirmed our reporting about how Ruby, Jody Hildebrandt, and Pam all worked through Jody's business.
How did you start to know the family? How did you meet? The Frankie family? Yeah. Through a program called Connections. It's a kind of a life skills type thing.
Life skills type thing. Oh, yeah. Hi, my name's Jody Hildebrandt. I want to make your life fill with joy, and I want your kids to be abused, and I want your family to be split up. Yeah, that's Connections, in my humble opinion, of course.
During the entire 90-minute stretch of when officers arrived to when the 2 children were placed in state custody, officers had a really difficult time getting information about the situation and relaying that to Bodtcher, her husband, and others involved. For example, there are even mentions in this body camera of Ruby and her husband in custody at that time. To our knowledge, Kevin Frankie was not in custody that day. Here's another clip from the interaction between officers and Pam trying to make sense of all of this.
Yeah, it was pretty confused. These officers turned up in American Fork. This is spread all across Utah. Ruby Frankie had just got her to pick up the kids. I think they were at a pool or something, and told her she was going to St. George and just take the kids. And this Pam Bodtcher apparently didn't know how long for, just assumed that they were going home later. In the meantime, let's scrub the floors. Let's get these 2 teenage girls to do all my chores and my housework. Let's just use them. Yeah. And then we can make salsa. Okay. All right.
So just to make sure I'm understanding all this correctly, Ruby contacted you around noon and said that they had
I don't know if that's important.
That's your best guess.
Said she had a family emergency.
And needed you to pick up the girls.
Yeah, she said, would you mind watching the girls while I'm gone? Because she was leaving. I said, yeah, I could do that because I need some help cleaning.
See, I need someone to help me do cleaning. All right, just look after kids. Just bring the kids round when you want unpaid lackeys. There's more, though, in this extra body cam footage right here. So, again, this is released by KUTV News. The same police officer, same interaction. And listen to this.
So they've been here all day. We went to Rolly's farm and got Rolly's Red Barn and got ice cream at the Red Barn. And then we came here and we scrubbed the floors and vacuumed and made lunch, had BLTs, and we were going to go pick tomatoes and make salsa tonight. Okay. So that's kind of what we were doing.
Okay, that's what they were doing. So we scrubbed the floors, we vacuumed. Well, how much of that did you do, Pam? Or did you just get the girls to do it? I don't know. Asking for a friend. All right, so that's the situation. That's where it's up to in the Frankie malarkey. Hopefully, Jody and Ruby stay in jail for a very long time. They're facing 6 felony counts of child abuse. I think Jody is the ringleader of all of this. I think Ruby has been a very willing participant because it fits her parenting style. Whether she now feels she went too far, I don't know. She doesn't seem to have very much empathy for her kids, puts them in front of a camera, tells their deepest, darkest secrets. Let's tell the whole world about your struggles as a teenager. These kids didn't have friends. These kids were very isolated. How many more of these Connections people were there? How many more Pam Bodtchers are there? Were these kids just, around and about different houses, doing cleaning for people. I don't know, guys. I don't know. While I've been following the Frankie situation, YouTube has been quite interesting. YouTube has been suggesting like podcasts and things to me from fundamentalist Mormons who have escaped their group or their order or their cult. And this is very scary. Fundamentalist Mormonism, you know, it's gone way beyond normal Mormonism. And as far as I know, Ruby Frankie, they're not these heavily, massively fundamentalists. I don't know where the line is drawn. But these fundamentalists seem to like polygamy and you know, men having loads of wives, and you're going to be more exalted in heaven the more wives and children you have. And some of these people who escape these cults, I mean, some of the stories, just awful. Incest. Older men marrying their nieces, or marrying all their nieces, or half-siblings marrying each other. I watched an interesting podcast yesterday about birth defects in these groups who have been inbreeding for generations now. I mean, it's scary. As far as the Frankies, though, you know, they don't seem to be into polygamy. They don't seem to be into that lifestyle. I mean, how much of the way that they parented their children was because of the Mormon faith, or whether it's something that they took to an extreme, I don't know. I think we're going to find out a lot of horrible stuff. I really do. I hope these kids can heal from all of this and go on to lead happy and successful lives. But we'll continue to follow this story here on this channel, and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.